welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a one brand makeup tutorial using all Wet n Wild products. Some are brand new and some are products that have been out for a while. So if you guys want to see some Wet n Wild products in action and also get ready with me, then please keep watching. So I've already freshly moisturized my face. So the first thing I'm going to do is prime my eyelids with the Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. This is one that is a favorite of mine. It is translucent, it provides no coverage. So yeah, this just gives you a really nice base to start with. It just kind of smooths everything out and it helps your eyeshadows apply a lot better. It keeps them on longer. So I don't have any brushes or tools to use from Wet n Wild, so I'm just going to use my regular brushes. So for eyeshadow, I'm going to be using this palette right here. This is the Au Naturel Nude Awakening palette. This is the one with more like pinky berry tones. I have used this one other time before. It does come with this little double-ended sponge, but we're going to get rid of that. So here are what the colors look like. As you can see, it does have a mixture of shimmers and mattes in here. I do like several of the shades in here, but this is not a palette that I would use solely on its own. Like, I would have to pull into other shadows and other palettes, but it is really good quality. So I'm going to take this eyeshadow down here. This is just a matte vanilla skin tone color, and I'm just going to set my eye primer with this just to remove all that tackiness. Okay, so this isn't really spreading the best. This is just wanting to stick to like the first place I land my brush for some reason, but it'll work. So there's only really one good matte transition shade in here, and it's this one right here, which looks like a matte, like light purpley muted lavender type shade. This eyeshadow does seem to be pretty sheer, and it's not like super opaque or anything, but it does seem to be applying it really like softly, and it's like I'm not having a hard time blending it or anything. But I will say I do feel like there's some leftover product on this brush because it seems to be a little bit more warm. That's not coming from that shade. I will say though, I did wipe off this brush yesterday, so I don't know why I would have extra product on it. So there's what that shade that I'm using looks like. It's a very cool tone taupey shade. This entire palette's more cool tones. So usually I use like 3 to 5 different matte eyeshadows in the outer V and in the crease, but this palette only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matte shades. I need more than this. So I'm gonna go in with this really pretty matte cranberry maroon shade. So there's what it looks like. Very buttery, very soft. This is definitely my favorite shade in the palette. Put this in the outer V. So both of the shades had quite a bit of kickoff, like they do have some debris. This one isn't like as harsh and as pigmented as I thought it would be, which is, it's a good thing when you're working with dark colors so that you don't go overboard, because it's easier to build up than it is to like remove excess pigment. I'm gonna go back in with that fluffy brush that I use for the crease and just blend in the crease a little bit more. Okay, so I kind of want to use this color right next to that one I just now used. This is like a shimmery, like maroon purple, I guess you can say. So this one is almost like a blackened plum. It's really not all that pigmented, and it's kind of more of like a satin finish instead of shimmer. So I'm gonna go back in with that first matte transition color we used on that same fluffy brush and just put this back in the crease a little bit just to blend all the dark shades. This is kind of looking a little bit messy, a little bit grungy. So I think that's all I'm gonna use for the outer V. Let's go ahead and work on the shimmery shades. You basically have these shades right over here. So there's what they look like on the fingers. So there's what they look like swatched. These are not super pigmented at all. I think I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, the one that's more pigmented, the shimmery pinky purpley tone, I guess. This one actually doesn't have a whole lot of fallout, but this one is a pretty shade. It does seem to be more metallic than the other ones. I'm just gonna kind of blend it into the other shades in the outer V, just very lightly, just kind of feather your brush to meet the two. So I think I'm gonna take this shade right here, the one next to the matte vanilla shade that I'm not too impressed with, and just put it in the center of that pink shade we just applied. So just put it right there, just kind of more of a halo. Okay, so that's not bad. I mean, these do apply better with the brush than they do swatched. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows now, and I got a product that's not really new. This is the Color Icon Brow Pencil. So here's what it looks like. It's got your little sharpened brow pencil on one end and then the spoolie on another. I've already used this and I've had to sharpen it twice already. I've only used it twice. It does sharpen really good though, I will say that. So this is in the shade Blonde Moments. I don't know if they had like a taupey shade. This was the lightest shade they had. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this. I'm gonna comb through my brows. It's got a nice spoolie on it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in my brows with this. So as you can already see, it fills them in extremely fast because this is so pigmented and so creamy. It definitely does have more of a waxy feel, but it's not too waxy. It kind of makes my eyebrows look a little bit green. Here's what it looks like when you swatch it. As you can see, it does have like a greenish tint to it. I will say this is kind of messy, like if you get it outside your brow. It is really easy to clean up where it's so creamy, but it's like it doesn't stick if it gets on your skin, so you can't really overdraw it. Now that I'm looking like an ogre, let's move on to eyeliner. And I do have 2 eyeliners. I have the On Edge Long Wearing Eye Pencil in the shade You're the Yin, which is just a black shade. It's just one of those gel eyeliner pencils that you sharpen. This is very, very pigmented. It's very creamy. Let me show you what it looks like when I swatch it. Ugh. I'm not a big fan of it for my waterline because it smears everywhere. It's not very long wearing for there, but I do really like it for the top lash line. It's very pigmented, very creamy, just glides on so effortlessly. Then the other eyeliner I got is a liquid liner, but this is the Mega Liner liquid eyeliner. This is just in the black shade, so here's what that looks like. This is not a new product either. And then here is what the little applicator looks like. I actually really do like this. This stays on all day long, and this applicator is so easy to make a wing or like a flick with it. And you guys know I'm not good at winged eyeliner. So what I've been doing is applying the pencil liner to my top lash line and then blending it out with a brush like I normally do. And then for my wing, going back in with the liquid liner and just flicking it out a little bit. Actually, let's use the pencil liner on one eye all over the top lash line and then use the liquid liner for the wing. And then with this eye, let's do everything with just the liquid liner just to see how it applies, all that good stuff. I forgot to show you guys what this looks like when you swatch it. So there's what it looks like swatched. That's the liquid liner. Very jet black. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna apply the liquid liner to this eye. Okay, so it makes a very thin line. The applicator pretty much does the work for you, and it's got such a fine little point tip that it makes a little flick for you. So I'm gonna go in with the gel liner pencil now and just kind of messily draw this on the top lash line. So easy to apply. I love this liner pencil. I'm gonna go in with the flat eyeliner pencil and just smudge all that out. Now I'm gonna go in with the liquid liner again and just make the flick. So I also have 2 mascaras to try out for you guys. I have been using the Lash Renegade mascara. This is new, and the brush is like one of those little ball tip brushes. So there's what the Lash Renegade mascara looks like. And then the other mascara I have is the Max Fanatic Cat Eye Mascara. This isn't new. This is in the purple packaging. It's got this really cool chubby like wing shaped wand. I'm gonna be applying 2 layers of both of these. On this side I'll use the Max Fanatic. On this side I'll use the Lash Renegade. Okay, so here are both of the mascaras with 2 layers. Both of these are very natural mascaras, and I feel like the Lash Renegade is just a little bit better. I actually really liked the Lash Renegade mascara when I first picked it up. Like the first time I used it, for some reason it wowed me. The wand is actually a little bit wonky. Like you have to be super careful when you're going in with like the outer corner lashes, because if you're not, the ball tip is so fat, like it touches the lower lashes and it just gets all over your skin. And both of these mascaras stop after like 1 layer. Like I just don't feel like they build on themselves very well. Like, I mean, they build and they don't get clumpy or anything, but they don't really do much of anything else after the first layer. I just do not like them. Okay, so now that I have a mess all over my face somehow, I'm gonna go in with primer. I'm gonna be using the Coverall primer. I've been using this for a really long time. I actually never talk about it, like you never see it in videos, because I actually put it in my makeup kit. This says it's supposed to refine pores, fill in fine lines, brighten your complexion and even skin tone. It does feel a lot like a moisturizer. But I feel like this gives you a really nice like velvety feel. It does give you a really nice base to start with. For foundation, I'm going to be using the brand new Photo Focus foundation. I've actually already tried this one other time and I didn't like it, but I went back and got it again to maybe give it a second chance. So I got the shade Soft Beige, which says this is a light, medium, warm shade. This is just a little bit too dark for me, so I am going to mix it in with the Pro Foundation Mixer from NYX. This is the white shade. So for applying the foundation, I'm going to be using some new sponges from the drugstore. These are the Eco Tool sponges. This is actually called the Perfecting Blender Duo. So you get one bigger sponge. Here's what it looks like. It's flat. It's kind of squared off. Then here's a smaller one, which is literally just a smaller version of the big one. Here are what the sponges look like after they're damp. As you can see, they have inflated quite a bit, but these are so hard. They're just not bouncy enough. I mean, there is a little bit of bounce to them. I really like the shape because where it's like squared at the top, it is good for getting under your eyes. This is really good for baking, but for foundation, concealer, stuff like that, I do not like these. So as far as the foundation goes, I do like the consistency of it. It's a really nice like gel-like consistency. Let me zoom you guys in. As you can see, it just looks very creamy and very light. It comes with this little spatula, which I use to wipe on the back of my hand. Do not put this to your skin and then put it back in the jar. That will just cross-contaminate and get bacteria on your foundation. This is so hard. Like, it doesn't squish really easy. Like the Real Technique sponge, just real nice, bouncy. This one's like, oh my god, this is kind of making me lightheaded. I think I'm also going to take a picture of the end once I'm done with all my makeup and use flash and see how well it works under a flash. Okay, so here's what one layer looks like. Not completely full coverage, and I did wear this when I was breaking out really bad. I have a lot of active breakouts and inflammation, and it did not cover it at all. This is not a full coverage foundation. I definitely think this is like a light to medium coverage. You can see some of my discoloration and recovering acne spots, but I'm gonna go back in and try to build it up a little bit more and see if I can get more of a full coverage. I'm actually gonna use a Real Technique sponge just because it's my tried and true. I know it works. I know it gives good coverage. I definitely think this will be a really good foundation for beginners, and if you don't have a lot to cover up, like if you don't have a lot of like breakouts or anything, then I think you'll like this. Okay, so that definitely did give me more coverage. Okay, so I'm gonna go on to the other side now. I think I'm just gonna use the M439 brush from Morphe. So I do feel like that blended out faster, but I also feel like it soaked up a lot of the product. So I'm gonna go in with more and see if we can build it up. My skin is just so dry right now, I'm just not enjoying a brush anymore. I feel like a brush mattifies a finish too, so on this side you got more of like a natural satin matte finish, I guess you can say, because you can still see a little bit of radiance coming through. Okay, so I'm not really liking the side with a brush, so I'm gonna mix a little bit more and go back in with my sponge. Just kind of hydrate this side a little bit. Looks like I've been walking through the desert all day. But it just looks really nice and natural. It doesn't feel heavy or look heavy on my skin. It does seem to be setting pretty fast. This is already almost set. It's not super tacky or anything, but it does seem to be pretty transfer resistant, so that's really good. Okay, so for concealer, I've only used this once. This is the Photo Focus Concealer in the shade Light Ivory. So I'm going to be using the Eco Tools little tiny blender. So I do like the color. It's not too light, but it's also not too dark. Oh my god. I hope you all can see, like, I'm not forcing this. Like, it just seems like I have to really beat the crap out of my face to get this to blend. Seriously, like, jars my organs. I'm gonna go in and just add a little bit more under my eyes and use my Real Technique sponge. So this is definitely more of a high medium coverage. I don't know if this would be super full coverage for people that have really bad dark circles. Now for bronzer. You guys know I've been loving a cream bronzer. I got the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Contour Bronzer. This is the Cafe Au Slay. This is just a cushion bronzer like the cushion foundations that have been out. In case you're wondering about the Mega Glow makeup sticks, these are so good. I've been using these non-stop. I have the concealer shade, I have the bronzer, and I also have the blush, which I'm going to use later on. I'm going to go in with the cushion bronzer. This is a really nice, warm, bronzy shade. It's very easy to apply, but I don't know how long this would last because most cushion products do not last with me. It does blend out really nicely, just looks really natural. I've been loving cream products lately. I just feel like it looks really natural. I am really enjoying the cushion bronzer. So for blush, I'm just going to use the makeup stick in the shade Peach Bums, which I love, and then blend that out with this Real Technique sculpting brush. It blends out super easily. It does stay on all day long. I guess it depends on what you wear underneath it, but it does stay on for a very long time. And it just gives you a really nice glowy sheen. Okay, so my camera just died and I'm running out of time because I have to be somewhere. So I went ahead and finished up my eye look, but I will tell you guys what I did. So the only thing I did was go in with a brow bone highlight and just clean that up. It looks a lot better. So I used this shade right here in the palette. And then for the lower lash line, I literally just used the matte cranberry shade and the crease shade that we used. I applied each mascara to the lower lash line. And then for inner corner highlight, I just went in with this shade right here next to the matte vanilla shade. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my face. And the concealer isn't creasing a whole lot. It is creasing just a little bit, but I'm pretty impressed with it. So I'm gonna go in with the Photo Focus pressed powder in the shade, what is this shade? Neutral Beige. This is another product that I've tried twice now. The first time I picked up a really light shade because I wanted to use it under my eyes, but there was no pigment whatsoever. It was so dry. I was pretty sure it was a defect with that powder though. Like, I didn't feel like all of them were like that. So I went out and got this one to set my entire face with. This one does have pigmentation. It does feel very smooth. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take some on a big fluffy brush and set my entire face with this. It does have a really pretty finish. It's not too mattifying or anything. It does still have a little bit of a sheen, a little bit of a glow, but it just seems like it doesn't set anything. Like, my face still feels tacky. My skin looks incredible right now. It looks very soft, airbrushed, very, very smooth. I've even tried going in with a brush more like this one. This is the e.l.f. powder brush to really like set this down and hope that it works better, but it doesn't. Like, it still feels tacky. So for highlight, I'm gonna go in with my tried and true Mega Glow highlighting powder in the shade Precious Petals. Ugh, I can't get over this highlighter. And pop that right on my cheeks. Oh, this is such a beautiful, intense champagne bronzy highlighter. It looks so like skin tone like. So now I'm gonna go in with the Photo Focus setting spray, which is also another favorite of mine, and just set all that in place. And last, we're gonna put on some lips. This is the Mega Last Liquid Catsuit Matte Lipstick in the shade Give Me Mocha. So this is a very, very pretty color. It's like a reddish mauve mocha shade. Considering it's a liquid lipstick, it is more comfortable, and I really do like this shade. And it doesn't really feel like you have anything on, which is not a problem for most people, but I mean, it feels like nothing, and it's very, very long wearing. Oh, I gotta take a flash test. It definitely doesn't have flashback. It looks very, very good in flash photography. My skin looks so poreless. Like, I am very, very impressed with this foundation today. Overall, I'm extremely impressed with this makeup look, especially the face. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more of these, make sure you let me know in the comments below. So thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me today. Thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe, follow me on all my social media. All the links are below, as well as all the products I used today. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Mwah.